Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. It's a gorgeous night in Kansas City, Missouri for a Major League game of the interleague variety as the Dodgers take on the Kansas City Royals, their first visit to Kauffman Stadium since 2014 and the first meeting between these two teams since 2017. Hi again, everybody, along with Nomar Garciaparra. I'm Tim Never. Kirsten Watson will join us in just a little bit. And Nomar, to say this team is playing well lately might be an understatement.
Yeah, they're playing outstanding. Definitely best record in all of baseball. And you look at over their last 37 games, they're 32-5. They've averaged 6 runs a game over those 37 games. And they're on a 10-game win streak. Oh, all they're doing is averaging 7 runs per game. So what have they done all season? Averaging over 5 runs per game. We always say, what is a key per game? 10 hits, 5 runs, you'll take that. You know why you'll take those 5 runs? Because the pitching staff has also done its job. The pitching staff as a whole has an ERA under 3. The starting pitching has been lights out. The guys coming out of the bullpen have continued to put up some zeros, and they're going to expect that once again today.
And on a Friday, it's actually going to be a Catterday as Tony Gonsolin's back on the hill looking for his 14th win of the season, 13-1 for the Cat.
Yeah, he has had a tremendous year, obviously an all-star caliber season as well. When you look at his ERA, that's second in the NL. He also is ranked second in the NL in wins, but he's first in the NL in batting average against, well under 200.
So Tony Gonsolin pitching for the Dodgers tonight, and let's check in now with Kirsten Watson on the rest of the lineup.
All right, guys. Well, Max Muncy, he has had quite the hot bat here recently. On Wednesday, he had a home run, but he also was playing at third base where he kind of got hit right there in the hand as he was playing defense. He told us that immediately his hand went numb after that inning. He did come out of the game. So there was a few concerns, but he did have an x-ray. Everything was negative. He told us that he just had to wait for the swelling to really go down. And once he did, he knew that he was going to be able to get back out there. So today he's playing as the DH, still dealing with a little bit of soreness, but hopefully we'll see him back in at third base tomorrow, guys.
Could happen for sure. We'll see Max swing the bat anyway. Lots of fans coming in, same colors, different teams. Dodgers, Royals, interleague play. First pitch and lineups coming up.
And starting and left tonight, we were just minutes away from Dodgers and Royals in Game 1 in Kansas City. Fellas, all right, of the Royals' 13 active position players, 7 of them are rookies. Adrian, how do you take advantage of this young group? We kind of heard Nomar talking about it a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I mean, you know, put pressure on them. You know, that's the thing. They're facing a team that's star-studded. They probably all looked up to these players, you know, coming through the minor leagues in high school. So just be out there and be yourself and put pressure. You know, keep the line moving like they have been with a young pitcher. And as a hitter, just continue to wait for your strike.
Put a lot of traffic on bases as a young pitching staff, they'll break.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was it?
That's it. That's all you need to do.
You know what, before we go back, Tim, can you put the J up there?
I can't get my leg up there. I'm old.
Get your stretch on, man. Tell Nomar Kirsten on the call.
This time for a suit ain't.
Jack in the Box for a limited time, starting at just $5.49. Dodgers and Royals getting set for action here tonight. We take a look at the tail of the tape, Nomar, a little bit different in record. Dodgers first and the Royals 24th, but yeah, these guys have not faced each other. In fact, in interleague play, these two teams have faced each other more infrequently than any other two teams.
Yeah, so there's not a lot of familiarity with each other. Also, the Royals have a very young group, a lot of rookies in the lineup as well. But listen, Dodgers, you look at it right here with that record, you expect them to go out there and win these games, but you still got to go out there, focus, play your game, because you don't want to fall into a trap. And next thing you know, you're looking behind and say you lost this series.
Dave Roberts talking about focus, and they have been focused since the All-Star game in particular. More than 6 runs a game, that's the best mark offensively in Major League Baseball.
So oftentimes we say 10 hits, 5 runs. Well, the Dodgers have been doing more than that when you look at the runs per game. And also they've been getting the pitching as well to back that up.
Dodger lineup brought to you by U.S. Bank. Mookie Betts leading off. Trey Turner, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith. Those first 4 becoming very familiar. Justin Turner playing third base tonight and batting 5th. Chris Taylor in left field. Max Muncy flipped over to the DH role. Might be back playing third tomorrow night, as Kirsten reported earlier. Hanser Alberto, former Royal, at second base. And Trace Thompson, a lot of room to cover in center field here at Kauffman Stadium. Young Daniel Lynch, the left-hander, makes his 18th start. And he is a guy that the Royals have a lot of high hopes about, as he made his major league debut last year. And it's his first full season in the big leagues. Had a couple of stints on the IL due to a blister issue, but he's out there and ready to go tonight. And he'll see a bunch more right-handed batters, which he has seen the most in Major League Baseball this year. 91% of the hitters he's faced have been righties.
Yeah, and you look at his splits, you know, right-handed batters are hitting about just over 280 against him, and left-handers are hitting around 220. So there's about a 60-point difference in splits. So that's why you see a lot more of those right-handers against him. The other thing, he also likes to get that first pitch strike over guys, so guys have to be ready. At the same time, there's a high batting average against that first pitch strike over 500. See, he comes at you with a four-seamer, a slider, a changeup, a knuckle curve, and an occasional sinker. The other key thing for the Dodgers is get to him early. You know, this is out of 17 innings pitched, obviously 17 starts in that first inning. He's given up 12 earned runs in the first inning. So the Dodgers, we know, do a good job, but if they can get on the board early against them, especially a young pitcher, hopefully they can really take advantage of that.
Kansas City wearing their City Connect uniforms. They wear them every Friday night at home. And now Lynch getting ready to face Mookie Betts for the first time in his career. Betts starts the night hitting .275, 25 home runs. And Mookie digging in as we're getting ready to get underway, and now we start. Mookie takes a strike at 95. And Salvi Perez, veteran catcher, in fact the only player on this Royals roster who was with them the last time the Dodgers and Royals played. Chases one in the dirt, and it's 0-2. 352 career against the Royals. And when you look at that, well, where does his slugging percentage sit? Right now, 4th among active players. Dick Allen, career-wise, had a .694 as they look at something getting into the eye of Perez. Alex Rodriguez and Manny Ramirez and then Mookie Betts are the top 4 in terms of career slugging percentage against the Royals. Francisco Lindor makes the list also.
You know, he's giving a hug to Salvador Perez. We saw that before because him in the American League prior to going to the Dodgers, playing with the Red Sox, playing against the Royals, so they know each other. They're familiar with each other. All-star games as well.
Perez ready to get back behind the plate. Not the easiest of positions to play. That's an understatement too. So 0-2 the count to Mookie, and Lynch into the wind. 1 ball, 2 strikes. In fact, when you look at what Mookie's done, 352 in his career against the Royals. It's second only to Luis Arraez of Minnesota, who hits 376 against Kansas City. 2-2. What is it, Nomar, about certain players against certain teams? Sometimes they've got your number, sometimes you get theirs.
Sometimes it could be when you go into that particular stadium, you know, a team that whether you may not see the ball well in that particular stadium. So that's how they could have your number. But then you're going, okay, when they come back to yours, they seem to have you as well, whether they are able to execute and find that maybe your kind of cold spots.
Mookie drives it out to left center field, but it'll die out there in the deep outfield as Nick Pratto, the left fielder, hauls it in for out number 1. The hits leaders in Major League Baseball, Freeman and Turner. And the first pitch to Trey. Chases a breaking ball downstairs. Now, one thing about Lynch, we were told before the game, his curveball will be a knuckle curve or a spike curve. He also throws his slider the same way. A knuckle slider.
So a lot of times when you're not familiar with a pitcher, you're looking on video, you're trying to see if you can recognize the different breaks. I remember Rich Hill had always said, I'm trying to get a different arc on my breaking ball to keep the hitters off balance. It's one thing to see it on video, it's another thing to be able to stand in the box and recognize that.
Rich always talked about shaping his pitches.
Yep. Important that is.
Yeah.
So even you can hold it the same, you can definitely get a different shape to it that now, and then you have the same release point is really important, vital to the effectiveness of those different shapes.
.208 hits since joining the ball club. He's done everything. Tapper to the right side. Right there is Vinny Pasquantino, who beat Trey to the bag. There are 2 down. So Lynch gets the first 2 Dodgers out. Here's Freddie Freeman. Freddie's average, 3rd Major League Baseball, but 2nd in the National League. Still trailing Paul Goldschmidt of the Cardinals. Plays just down Interstate 70 the other way.
Here I'm looking at the defense against them. We don't see this too often, although I think it should be. They're playing straight up. How many times we see teams playing the shift on Freddie Freeman, and I'm always going, why? This guy's spray charts are is everywhere. So now you're finally seeing a team like, yeah, so why would we want to shift on him? He goes the other way with the best of them.
Yeah, his left center field approach is the best, if not one of the best in the game. 2-1 to Freddie. On Wednesday, got to have his bobblehead night. His son Charlie threw the first pitch out. Displayed a very strong arm, too. 2-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Freeman.
Strong arm, big smile. I love when he just ran over to Freddie, sprinted, and just jumped into Dad's arms.
I'm wondering if his son's leading his Little League team in hits and average and OPS and all that stuff.
Probably.
I'm sure they keep track of things like, you know, weighted on base average and all those analytics. And a base on balls. So a base runner for the Dodgers here in the first. Will Smith in the cleanup spot has been delivering. Look at his last dozen games. He's hitting nearly 400.
We talked about it before. He has solidified that 4th spot. That was one of the areas where the Dodgers probably struggled over the course of their lineup. 4-hole hitter really had a below average. There were some struggles when Cody Bellinger early in the season, Max Muncy, they were all trying to fill that in. And even Will Smith for a while when he was put in that spot. But tell you what, as of late, he has been outstanding. He's had a tremendous year. And with him, the way he's been swinging, to get 1 through 4, these guys coming up to bat, it is an amazing, amazing top of the lineup.
275 overall. And 2 outs. Freeman at first, and the left-hander Lynch ready to go. He's inside. And we mentioned he sees mostly right-handed batters, 91%. Milwaukee's Eric Lauer second. That left-hander sees 85.3%. Why is that important? Why is that significant? Well, in the last 50 years, the only other pitcher who has seen as many right-handed batters by percentage in different seasons is Hall of Famer Randy Johnson. 1993, 92.3% right-handers. That was his career high when he was with the Mariners.
The way Randy Johnson, the way he released the ball, the angle, and it always seemed like he was releasing it in front of your face after he was striding down the hill. And so lefty's going, wait a minute, you know, to really see that, it looks like it starts off behind you and then it's crossing in front of you.
Did it look like the second baseman was throwing it?
It was, you know, remember at Fenway Park in center field, like even like day games, they actually cover the seats up in center field, but he would still be far enough where his hand was still coming out of the stands in center field.
Will hits a fly ball to right center and fairly deep, going back after it and making the over the shoulder catch On the track is Michael A. Taylor. Tony Gonsolin will take the hill, looking for win number 14. The Catman takes on the Royals.
But you can't.
Here is the U.S. Bank starting lineup for Mike Matheny's Kansas City Royals. M.J. Melendez, rookie DH, leading off. Bobby Witt Jr., strong candidate for Rookie of the Year in the American League. Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, the Nick Pratto, normally a first baseman, and a first baseman of Gold Glove caliber, but getting a chance in left field too. Michael A. Taylor, the former National. Michael Massey at second base, Kyle Isbell at right, and Nicky Lopez will play shortstop. Here's Tony Gonsolin in his 21st appearance.
Yeah, Tony Gonsolin, his last outing versus the Padres, he went 5 innings, didn't allow any earned runs, had 6 Ks, 1 base on balls. Prior to that, though, you look at his 3 prior games there, he had an ERA over 6. Last start was so much better. Really, the key for him is to be able to pound that strike zone, have fastball command, because it really sets up his great split finger and other off-speed pitches.
First pitch off the plate outside, and take a look at what Tony throws.
Yeah, you just talked about that four-seamer, that devastating split changeup. The table, it just falls right off the table. That slider that he can get in, get a nice sharp late break.
And a fly ball to left field. Chris Taylor camping out. 1 down. Tony hasn't faced any of these hitters before, so it's a little bit of unfamiliarity for him as well, even though he's been around the league for a couple of years.
Yeah, there is that. The key is your scouting report. This is when you really rely on your advanced scouts. You're giving you the charts. You're looking at, the quadrants of some of these hitters. You're looking at where their hot zones are, their cold zones are. And then you're looking at video to see, okay, what maybe can you exploit? What's a good pitch in certain counts that you go to that you also feel comfortable with?
Here's Bobby Witt Jr. Saw him in spring training, and really an impressive young player. Second overall pick in 2019. 15 home runs, and he's stolen 22 bases too, so he can get it done with the legs. He's a very good defensive player at third base. He can hit.
Well, when you look at this lineup, they have a lot of athleticism up and down this lineup. They have some young players. Mentioned they can run, so this is one of the things the defense has to be ready. They're going to take that extra base. They're going to steal some bases when they get on. And it's not about just driving the ball out of the ballpark. They have some power, but they don't necessarily rely on a home run by any means. So it's about putting the ball in play, putting pressure on the defense.
2 ball, 1 strike pitch. 3-1. 72 steals, second in the American League. So Mike Matheny's got him running here in Kansas City. That is popped back and a play. And a 3-2 count to Bobby Witt Jr.
Well, coming in, you talk about that as a team on the defensive side. You're going, okay, guys, listen, their speed, be ready from a stolen base standpoint, be on your toes. The other thing, too, from such a big outfield, when they throw the ball in as a middle infielder, your head's on a swivel, ready to throw to the base that they might try to take that extra base.
Chris Taylor hauls in the line drive, 2 down. Well, fans of Dodger pitchers strike out 10 hitters. Everyone gets a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow at Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink. Valid only at LA area restaurants. Well, Salvi Perez now coming up against Tony Gonsolin, and he really is one of the few Royals with a lot of name recognition around baseball. Kansas City going the youngster route in their rebuild. It's always important to have a solid veteran around, especially behind the plate.
And they looked to him, they looked to his leadership. Young group, he's really their captain. Not only teaching them how to play, also how to be a big leaguer.
Pops it up, middle of the infield. Hanser Alberto. And that completes the 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning. So Tony Gonsolin 3 up and 3 down on 10 pitches.
fans, pick your favorite defensive moment in the Greatest Play Ever sweepstakes presented by Pixel Vault for your chance to win tickets to a 2022 regular season game of your choice. Restrictions apply. See rules and vote at MLB.com/bracket today.
Just like riding a bike. No score. We go to the second inning. And Lynch delivering to Justin Turner, strike one. First pitch strike, 3 for 5 in the game on first pitch strikes. 21 pitches in the first inning. JT's been on base in 20 straight ball games, looking to make it 21 here tonight. Ball's behind 0-2. This is your first game on the road this year. It's August. And you read that promo like you've been doing it every night.
Well, I do practice them. I do ask our producer to send me them ahead of time so I can practice them in front of a mirror.
JT strikes out. That's a sign of a professional, right? You do it in front of a mirror?
Just make sure the delivery, even though you don't see me doing it, but I just want to make sure that I'm standing tall. The shoulders are back, enunciating as best I can. So all those factor in there.
Chris Taylor with one out. Facing Daniel Lynch, who is out of the state of Virginia. Henrico, Virginia, went to the University of. And he's facing another Virginia Cavalier and Chris Taylor. Dodgers happy to have him back off the injured list. And contributing, and not just in left field, but played a little third base last game too, coming in from left field. But it's the bat that means a lot, as he hit the deciding home run, or at least at that point, off of Michael Fulmer. That made it a 5-4 game on Wednesday night at Dodger Stadium.
It's been a while since Chris Taylor actually has hit a home run, so to be able to get that one under his belt and also get a great swing on a breaking ball.
That was his first home run since June 3rd.
Yeah, I know he's had some IL stint as well, but nonetheless, still as a player, going, man, it's been a while. Although he did have a couple down there in his rehab assignment, so that's always nice to get some confidence and say, okay, I'm swinging the bat well, and can I carry that when I get back up to the big league level? And he's done that.
He had 2 in one game. One was on the first pitch of the game.
Why waste any time?
That's right. 3-1 pitch, and it's now a full count. Lynch debuted in the big leagues last year. Spent a good part of the year with AAA Omaha. Out on strikes is Taylor. Two down, bases empty, and Max Muncy looking to do some more damage. He's been doing some damage. He loves doing damage against the Giants, first and foremost. But over his last 7 games, 4 home runs. Hit homers in 3 of his last 4, and in back-to-back games.
Swinging the bat extremely well, has made an adjustment in his approach, his back foot, where it's kind of a step back approach before he's moving forward. That has kept his bat, his shoulder, his body on plane and in line that he likes to be able to drive the ball.
Lynch gets ahead of him in the 0-1. Now a ball and a strike. And we saw how the Royals defended Freddie Freeman. They did not go into a shift, but that's not the case with Muncy. They are playing Muncy like a pull hitter, but in batting practice, Max is really concentrated on going the other way.
And the years past, talking to Max Muncy about his approach and when he's swinging well, he says, he goes, when I'm driving the ball to left center, because that's when I know I'm right. That's what I'm thinking about doing. And oftentimes when he pulls it, it's just, you're just reacting. So thinking of left center, when you think of an opposite way, it just keeps you on the ball longer.
3-1 pitch from Lynch. Check swing foul. He'll go to a full count again. Muncy third in the National League in walks now. Christian Yelich of Milwaukee's passed him. 62 for Yelich. Juan Soto, the Padres, between the Padres and the Nationals, he's pushing 197 walks. Max fouls this one away.
Interesting. Right now, you're taking note over there in the dugout. On a 3-1 count against Chris Taylor, he throws back-to-back sliders to end up striking out Chris Taylor. 3-1 to Max Muncy. He's come at him with 2 fastball as well. So you're making note. You're like, okay, what does he feel comfortable with? Maybe in a hitter's count. He's not afraid to throw different pitches. At least those 2 so far.
Payoff pitch. Ball 4, and that is walk number 61 for Max. In the second inning in a row that Lynch has issued a 2-out base on balls.
Comes out at him with the fastball, trying to catch that corner just off the plate. Good eye by Max Muncy.
You know, Lynch still developing, still a young pitcher, and when you look at what he's done tonight so far, he's been in at least a 3-ball count in 4 of 7 hitters. And when you do that early, that shortens your night on the backside. Hanser Alberto.
Not only that, you know, as you're going through the lineup, you're not very familiar with the pitcher if you're the Dodgers, and you're saying, okay, we get to see his pitches. Maybe I got to see the way his breaking ball, his slider breaks, maybe that curveball. I'm looking at the release point of that fastball. So the next time through you face him, you're able to make an adjustment. And when you look over Lynch's averages against, first time through about 240, goes up to like 270. The second time through really jumps up to like 370 that third time through.
Throwing that slider 27% of the time, and there's a ground ball to short. And waiting for it, Lopez. He'll go the short way, get the force out. So Alberto, the force out, that retires the side. No score halfway through the second. And now the Verizon player profile. Tony Gonsolin. Take a look at some of his numbers. Top 2 starters, obviously. 13 wins, tied for second with Tyler Anderson. 2.30 ERA. And of course, Tyler 2.72 ERA. He's in the top 10. Those are top 2 Dodger starters. So here is Vinny Pasquantino, first baseman, first ball swinging. And Hanser Alberto will record the 1 pitch out with an assist from second base. 1 pitch and 1 away. That's just 11 pitches in the game so far for Tony. He'll say, yeah, more of that, please.
Yes. Talk about a young team. Talk about them just thinking they don't like to strike out. They like to put the ball in play. We talked about putting pressure on the defense because they run the bases. You can also take advantage of that as long as you're making quality strikes early in at bats.
Nick Pratto out of Huntington Beach. He'll take a strike. Well, Nick growing up in Huntington Beach, closer to where the Angels play. So his dad went to a lot of Angel games, but they were Dodger fans. They go over to Angel territory every now and then, but he gets an opportunity to face the team that he followed as a boy in Huntington Beach. Surf City, USA. 0-2 pitch. It's low and in. 1-2. I was just over there the other day. I was watching a dad teach his son how to surf. It was so cool. It was really neat.
You got to know the spots where to teach, where the different breaks are.
1-2. And a ground ball to Hanser. 2 away quickly for the Royals in the second inning.
Early on, Tony Gonsolin, it really has some good depth to that split finger. Had a good sequence right there against Pratto. Start off with a fastball for a strike. The second pitch was just a great split finger. Looked like his fastball, the bottom dropped out of it. It still was a strike. Bottom part of the zone, gets a swing and miss. And he comes back with right there to get a ground ball. You pound the zone, you force them to be ready. and swing at your pitch.
Michael A. Taylor aggressive. Center fielder goes after the first pitch. When you look at what Tony's been gifted with so far, he's made 4 outs on 4 pitches or fewer. And that's going to help him with his overall pitch count. A longtime national outfielder Michael A. Taylor. Last year, his first year with the Royals. It's a ground ball down to short, one-handed by Trey. And it's 6 up and 6 down for Tony Gonsolin after 2 innings, and he's only thrown 17 pitches through the first 2 innings.
Welcome back to Kansas City. Earlier today here at Kauffman Stadium, Clayton Kershaw was playing catch, and we got to catch up with him afterwards. And he told us that, one, not only is he feeling better, when he was placed on the IL, he did have an epidural. So really the last 3 to 4 days, things have been really kind of moving in the right direction. So he's going to continue with playing catch. He's not ready just yet to throw off of a mound, but once he gets there, we'll have a better idea of just what that timeline exactly will look like. But he did tell us that he feels confident as well as optimistic that he'll be back and fully built up by October, guys.
That'll be some really good news if he's ready to go 100% by that point in time. Yeah, just seeing him earlier today, Nomar, playing catch, you know, we were sitting here in the booth watching him, and that's always a welcome sight. Trace Thompson pops this one up, shallow center. He's still backpedaling, and finally making the catch is Michael Massey.
Yeah, very positive information regarding Clayton Kershaw. You know, we were talking about seeing him play catch, as you just mentioned. That it's always a good sign, and the way what he was doing, going through his routine, which is always important to him. And then Dave Roberts, he was talking about it earlier today, and he was with the media. And he says Kershaw, you know, his emotions are on his sleeve, so you kind of know and have an idea of how he's feeling on a given day. And he says he's a bit more jovial, which is always a good sign, telling him that, all right, he is feeling pretty good, and know that he is close to possibly coming back.
Mookie Betts 0 for 1. Lynch delivers home. Strike 1. Kershaw was around the batting cage Wednesday at home because he couldn't throw yet, so he had to do something. He was hanging around BP watching the guys. Don't always see him there, but used to a little bit more often when pitchers would hit. Of course, he'd have pitchers BP days, but then once in a while he'd hang around and watch them, try to pick something up. 0-2 to Mookie. No balls, 2 strikes. Lynch shakes the first sign. Slider down and in. I don't know if a lot of rookies are going to shake off Salvi Perez.
Well, it looked like Salvador asked him to shake.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, it's kind of like he was giving a sign and like shook his head like to ask him, okay, give me a shake.
Hitter doesn't see that.
Hitter doesn't see that. Sometimes they do that to throw off the hitter, or the hitter might see they recognize a pattern.
In the hole, backhanded by Lopez. Long throw to get Mookie. 2 down. Let's take a quick word now from Morongo.
The Marketplace by Fabio Viviani, now open.
You know, a lot of times you're asking, like, with the shake, why would the catcher ask that too? Because oftentimes, if a pitcher shakes, sometimes they're like shaking and they maybe feel like that fastball. You have a young guy who likes, no, I want to go to my fastball. I feel more confident in that. But he wanted a breaking ball there, so he's like, shake, so you can make the hitter think you're going to your fastball, and it's actually coming at you with the breaking ball.
Ball 1 to Trey Turner. Turner grounded out to Pasquantino, the first baseman, his first time up. The state of Florida, went to North Carolina State in Raleigh. He's an absolute star there. He's been really good everywhere he's gone, and especially here in Los Angeles. 1 strike. Since he made his debut a year ago. A year ago this month. He's played in 162 games, 208 hits in that time frame. Oh, another full count.
Talking about Chris Taylor, he went 3-1 with that slider. 3-1, a slider there, and he came back to 3-2 with the same slider. See if he does it again.
And there's a hit. So Trey Turner will pick up season hit number 139. That is the first hit for the Dodgers in the ballgame.
He gets a fastball and it was up in the zone. He puts a great swing on it, shortens up, understanding that he has 2 strikes on him. But he's done all season long. Great 2-strike approach.
Trey is hitting 7 straight. Keeps piling up these hitting streaks. 7 straight for anybody is really good, but he stops usually around 20, 25, somewhere in there.
You win batting titles, you go on winning on hitting streaks. The other thing is when you go on multiple hitting streaks the way he has, that means those days where you're not feeling right, he's minimizing those slumps so much quicker. It's like getting out of them, finding that groove once again.
Lynch dealing to Freddie Freeman. 0-1. 325, and he does have a legitimate shot at a batting title. Pretty much going to be a 2-horse race between Freeman and Paul Goldschmidt. Throw to first, and Trey back standing. I think really when we get into September, that's when you start keeping an eye on what Goldschmidt's doing every day, what Freeman's doing every day. Freddie's been doing a great job keeping up with him. Figures in the top 10 in practically every offensive category. Ball and a strike to Freddie Freeman. 2 down. Turner the runner at first. And Lynch will send this one home. Freddie looks at the breaking ball for a strike. So the slider, that's been his secondary pitch.
Yeah, look Freddie looked like he was a little maybe frustrated or upset with himself because he might have recognized that pitch just a little bit late, or potentially gave up on it a little bit because it was up in the zone, thinking it was going to be a ball.
Do most hitters care, or do they like it, or do they not like it when you see a pitcher you've never seen before?
A lot of hitters may be uncomfortable, especially with the amount of information now, where they rather have all the information to be able to make the adjustments and understand how they want to pitch him. And then you'll have some hitters who don't mind, because they're like, listen, I don't care who's out there. The ball has to cross home plate. I got to be ready for it. I'm worried about my mechanics. I've just got to make sure I'm able to recognize the pitches coming out of his hand.
See it, hit it, right?
That's it.
That's it. That's it. That's the whole secret.
You tell yourself that. Just simplify it. Keep yourself sane. Let's see if he goes first move here.
Inside for a ball. A borderline pitch, and that went Freddie's way. Mike Estabrook, the home plate umpire tonight.
Yeah, when you see Salvador have to reach that far for the ball, you set up on the outside, and yes, it crosses the K zone, but hard for an umpire to really pull the trigger and call that.
The catcher's setup is so important too when it comes to pitches on the borderline. I mean, that was a perfect example of how you can lose a strike based on where the catcher had to set up and then not making your pitch. 2-2 to Freeman. And he lifts this one to the left center field, and that ball is going to be tracked down by Nick Pratto. Well, no runs, 1 hit, 1 left. 2.5 done in Kansas City. Still no score. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by the SoCal BMW Centers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Well, no score. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Along with Nomar Garciaparra, I'm Tim Never. Kirsten Watson with us as well. Tony Gonsolin, first pitch of the at-bat. Opponents have been hitting .342, so that may be why we're seeing the Royals so aggressive against him early on. With 2 strikes, seems to shut him down pretty well. Only 118 against. Facing Michael Massey, the second baseman, here for the first time. Hasn't been in the big leagues a month yet. He's down 0-2.
He's done an excellent job with that first pitch, though, this game, just with the quality of the pitch. It hasn't been, oh, I'm just going to try to get me over breaking ball, or here's a fastball down the middle just so I can get ahead.
0-2 pitch. That's high. Well, if you're talking about attacking first pitch from a pitcher, got the right guy in the booth for that. You like that.
Hey, when you see, you know, those averages that we just showed, but you're also got to go, you got to keyhole and say, okay, where's my spot I can do damage on.
First strikeout for Gonsolin. 1 gone for Kansas City in the 3rd.
There's that split finger. The bottom just falls right out of it. As a hitter, you recognize, you're looking at his arm slot to see if there's any difference maybe in his arm slot, when a difference between his breaking ball, his split finger, his fastball that you can recognize. But that fastball and split finger coming out of the same arm slot, it also, when he releases, it doesn't pop out of his hand anyway. It's just going straight down like his fastball, and then the bottom falls out of it.
Kyle Isbell, the right fielder, takes a strike. We've talked about this a number of times, and some fans may be familiar with the term popping when it comes to the breaking ball. Strike 2. Give us the quick explanation on that.
Yeah, it's when the when a guy's throwing a curveball, their fingers are coming in front of the ball to create that break, to create the spin. And sometimes when a pitcher does that, the ball ends up going up over his fingers, so it's kind of popping out of his hand.
1, 2, 3 gets him. So that's the second strikeout for Gonsolin. 2 down.
And as a hitter, you're so focused on that release point and looking at the ball that you can often recognize that pop. As we see another split finger just kind of going down into the zone. I mean, it's so hard to lay off of that, especially when you have 2 strikes. You're thinking, here's a fastball. And we're taught at a young age, don't be beat on a fastball. Don't let the person throw it by you. That's what you're taught. So if you feel that at the big league level, you're like, all right, I have to be ready for that fastball, and you're thinking fastball, and the next thing you know, as you're swinging, you just see it going down, and it's below your bat.
Shortstop Nicky Lopez lines it to left. It slices right into the glove of Chris Taylor. A 9-pitch inning for Tony Gonsolin, and 9 up and 9 down for the Dodger right-hander.
Drives a ball to right center with a man on base, and you can see the center fielder going back on it, catches it on the warning track, and you say, okay, it's routine out. But if you look at, if you would happen to be at Dodger Stadium, well, where would that ball have been? Maybe over the wall, maybe off of the wall, because we can see that Kauffman Stadium has the largest area of outfield than anywhere in the major leagues. So we got that light blue line there. We're showing where the fence is at Dodger Stadium. We can see the dimensions here at Kauffman Stadium. Left center, right center, center field. Just the timing, placement. Big outfield out there.
That would have been in the home run seats. Maybe.
Could have been. Maybe one of those, maybe in somebody's nachos.
And Will lifts this one in the air to center field and deep. Where's this one going? Back goes Taylor, and he is at the wall for the catch.
That would have been another nachos he would have hit right there. Or actually more the batter's eye at Dodger Stadium. So yeah, that might have been on the net that covers over there in center field. So
he's a long poke in this ballpark. Michael A. Taylor knows how far he can go back. You know, we talk about Coors Field in Denver all the time with the acreage they've got. When you measure it in acreage, this outfield is bigger. Tons of room to cover. Justin Turner fouls that one away. Remember when this stadium was first built, it was the old flat carpet that was here. They had that here for a long time. And they had some teams that could really run too. Think of players like Willie Wilson, and I mean, he took 3 steps, he was down to second base. But they really had some teams that were built on speed. To the left side is Bobby Witt Jr. 2 down. So Lynch so far so good. Pitch count is a little high for him though. It's 65. He's been doing a decent job on the first pitch strike. 8 for 12 at this point. So 2 down and bases are empty for Chris Taylor. Still scoreless here in Kansas City. Game 1 of a 3-game weekend set. Game 1 of a 7-game road trip. Dodgers will leave here Sunday night, go to Milwaukee, and play the Brewers for the first time this year. They'll have 4 in Milwaukee. I want to notice CT3. And Lynch now sends one home. Good changeup.
Like Perez maybe wanted that ball more down in the zone. It was a little up. It was on the corner still, so it wasn't a bad miss.
So from the changeup, he goes to the fastball. Had to speed up the swing of Taylor, and it's 1-2. See him changing the grip. I wonder how much of that the Dodgers are going to find from the dugout. They know what grip he has going into the glove. And now it looks like he's been changing it around a little bit.
All those things are being watched. Obviously, it's a little different when you've seen them for the first time, and then the other thing where you aren't going to face them again. It's not like you're going, okay, we're going to face them next week when they come back to Dodger Stadium.
Still 3-2. So Lynch has had 6 full counts. And that's why his pitch count is where he is. And Dodgers are going to get into the bullpen early here tonight. Payoff pitch, and that's a ball. So how about this? 4 innings, and the Dodgers get a base runner in each of the innings, all with 2 out. 3 times with a walk. Taylor rather over at first base, and now Max Muncy coming up. But with 2 outs, I mean, they're just really, really good.
Yeah. Now they're just really trying to capitalize on that. Then, you know, we also touched on facing Lynch that 3rd time through the lineup. The average really jumps up close to 400 batting average against. So the Dodgers now, when they're making them work, then you get occasionally these walks and then those hits, and closer to potentially turning over the lineup and seeing that lineup come through and try to maybe face him that 3rd time.
Strike 1 to Muncy. Since he's been in the big leagues, Lynch has limited the long ball to left-handed hitters, allowing only 1 to lefties. And it was former Dodger Alex Verdugo when Boston was here recently at the beginning of this road trip, or homestand rather, for them. So Verdugo's the only lefty to hit a home run off of Lynch. Max Muncy would love to add his name to that list. It's a short list. Standoff now between Taylor and Lynch. Fouled back.
I don't know if that was Perez who made that noise, the umpire, or if it was Max Muncy kind of going, ooh, that was a pitch I could do damage on. Just missed. It might have been the umpire who took it in the shoulder. The umpire, I thought it was a shoulder, but it looked like right in the middle of the chest.
Yep, and the pen survived.
Yeah.
Mike Estabrook buys good pens, I guess. Now 1-2 to Max Muncy. And in the air, deep left. Heading back is Prado, and at the wall makes the catch. Boy, the Dodgers have hit some deep outs so far tonight. Well, Max Muncy gives it a ride, but the ballpark holds it.
Lakers night at Dodger Stadium on August 24th, and purchase a special ticket pack to receive an exclusive Lakers night jersey. You may see it in that corner, but it's double-sided, half Lakers, half Dodgers Clayton Kershaw jersey. So for tickets, visit Dodgers.com/Lakers or scan the QR code on your screen now.
MJ Melendez, first ball swinging, sends it to left. And Chris Taylor right there. He gets sent back to the track with one pitch and one away. 26 pitches for Tony Gonsolin, 76 for Daniel Lynch. 26 pitches, 20 strikes for Tony, and he is 9 for 10 in first pitch strikes. And so far of the outs that he's recorded, 10 straight to start the game, 3 of them have come on one pitch. Bobby Witt Jr. will take a strike.
Oh, listening to Dave Roberts before the game when he was asked about Tony Gonsolin, the key for him, he was talking about pounding the strike zone, getting ahead of guys, really important, commanding the zone, and he has done that so far in this game.
Falling behind, one of the few times so far tonight he's been behind in the count. Tony's last start didn't give up an earned run, allowed only 3 hits against the Padres in 5 innings of work. Popped up and on the infield grass, Justin Turner. 2 down. Now a word from Jack in the Box.
Mix Good sauce with my new spicy Good sauce for spicy good sauce.
Well, 2 down. And here is Salvador Perez. He popped up to Hanser Alberto at second base in the first inning. 16 average for the veteran catcher who takes up high ball 1. Speaking of catchers, Dodgers had to make a move at catcher today. Austin Barnes went on the family emergency list. Tony Walters had his contract selected from AAA Oklahoma City. He is here tonight. Swing and a miss. He'll be here till further notice. Whatever the emergency is, wishing our best to Austin and his family. 2-1 to Perez. Perez goes back a long way. He made his major league debut this week in 2011. And he pops this one up to the left side near the line. And It'll be caught by Trey Turner and a bluff from Justin Turner. 12 up, 12 down for Tony Gonsolin. We're through 4. LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Let's see. How's that look, Nomar?
We're not in Philadelphia, are we?
No,
Like, right? Doesn't that where you usually get the?
Well, we took care of the barbecue last night.
Yes, we definitely did.
So, old cheesesteak,
Yeah.
peppers and onions.
Good
We go to the
barbecue.
top of the 5th.
That's a good barbecue yesterday.
Yeah, you can find quite a bit of it in these parts. There's Hanser Alberto to lead things off. Scoreless game. 77th pitch for Lynch. Hanser is 0 for 1. Grounded into a force out that retired the side in the second inning. With as well as Tony Gonsolin has been pitching, we've buried the lead, I think, in one of the major stories today in baseball. That involves Padres shortstop Fernando Tatis Jr. And that one gets past Lynch, and Alberto's going to be safe. The Dodgers have the leadoff man aboard.
Leadoff man aboard for the first time in this game. We were talking about they get guys on board, but that's after 2 outs. So yeah, they ruled this. I think they might rule this an error, right? Thinking that he maybe should have come up with that one. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But.
They're going to give him a base hit.
Oh.
Hanser will take it.
He appreciates it.
So it is
Must
a
be
single.
his infectious personality and smile. Absolutely give him a hit.
Well, that might be the courtesy they show Royals alumni.
Yeah, that too.
Anyway, we're talking about a big story. Fernando Tatis Jr. suspended 80 games for use of a prohibited substance. And that is what everybody around the game is talking about tonight. We found out as we were headed up to dinner before the game, but he'll miss the last 48 games of this season. He was just about ready to come off the IL and get back to playing, and he'll miss the first 32 games of next season. So that is a huge loss for the San Diego Padres.
It's a huge loss for the Padres. I think it's also a huge loss for baseball. He's an exciting player and just bad for baseball that you have a guy like him, a star player, gets suspended for that.
2-1. And Thompson drills it foul. Now he's coming off an injury too. Tatis is a motorcycle accident in his home country in the Dominican Republic. When he was originally asked about it, he said, well, which accident are you referring to? But meaning how many? It's happened to him a number of times, but if you've been there, you understand the way the traffic is with the motorcycles and motorbikes. They weave in and out of traffic, and it's easy to. I think you get a different perspective on how easy it is to get in an accident there. But he comes off of that, and now he won't be eligible to play for the rest of this season and a good chunk of next. Crack to the left field corner. That ball is going to get down off the wall. Alberto around second on his way to third. He'll be held, and Trace Thompson is in with a line shot double. And the Dodgers in business, second and third, and nobody out.
Trace Thompson does a good job staying on this ball. Looked like it was like a breaking ball that they wanted to break down. It stays up. It really almost like backed up. Sometimes when you see a breaking ball that backs up, you have a tendency to swing underneath it, and especially up in the zone. He does an excellent job getting the barrel to that ball up in the zone and driving that off the wall to left field.
Salvi Perez will call a meeting on the mound right here. And when you look at this situation, though, Nomar, again, second and third, nobody out, the order turning back over to the top. with Betts, Trey Turner, Freddie Freeman due up next. Just playing the percentages, you really have to like the opportunity to score multiple runs here.
Yeah, and I'm wondering also, you know, Dino Ebo, he had a tough decision because of the left fielder getting to that ball, and he's thinking, okay, can I possibly get Hanser Alberto to score here? Even when the left fielder got it, Alberto was pretty close to third. They're like, was he going to send him? But I guarantee you he's looking at the nobody out, top part of the lineup coming up. You'll definitely take your chances to say, okay, they should be able to get at least one run here.
That's 0 for 2. Lynch will throw his 87th pitch of the ball game.
See Hanser Alberto, here he comes. You got the left fielder right there. So, you know, by the time he gets that, he's close. You're going to, does it risk the effort? You're like, no, not with the top of the lineup and nobody out. 2 outs, then you're going, okay, I'm sending him in and take a chance.
Got to take a really good throw to get him.
Yep.
And now Mookie way ahead in the count, 3-0.
And right here, you give him the green light. He gets to decide if he's feeling good. He's already, this is his 3rd time seeing the pitcher.
Does it go for a strike? Borderline up high. The Royals with the infield not all the way in. They're even with the bags. Hanser Alberto leading at 3rd. Trace Thompson at 2nd. And the 3-1. Bases are full of Dodgers. Bases loaded, nobody out in the 5th. And the Royals get some action up in the bullpen. Figured they would be anyway with this pitch count up at 90. Amir Garrett, former Cincinnati Red. Left-hander throwing. Cal Eldred, the pitching coach, will come out, pay a visit, and talk to the young left-hander. So this is a situation that they're going to see how tough Lynch is here. They're going to let him pitch to Trey Turner, looks like, with the bases loaded, nobody out.
Obviously a good time to come out there and talk to your pitcher, because you can see he was frustrated thinking that last pitch against Mookie Betts, he thought he caught the corner. Felt like he was squeezed there. He didn't get the call. Want to go out there, calm him down a little bit. This is one where I'm sure the pitch, he was frustrated. He thought he got the corner. It was close. Trey Turner's last at bat, he was able to get a fastball that he took right back up the middle for a single.
Alberto over at 3rd base. Thompson at 2nd. Mookie Betts at 1st. And here's Trey Turner, single last time up. And he throws the first pitch in the dirt. So a scoring change for Hanser Alberto. He'll now have to take an 0 for 2 now, as the error was charged to Daniel Lynch, as we thought might be right out of the gate. But see the average at 299 with the bases loaded for Trey Turner. 1-0, now it's 2-0.
So maybe they're not nice to Royal alumni.
I guess not.
I mean, get the hopes up. He's like, all right, he got a hit. Now they're changing it to an error. Now you're like, what?
Three and 0. And it looks as though Lynch is really tiring. And if you're Turner, what's your approach here in this 3-0?
I'm looking at a spot, maybe a middle end that I like, and it's a small keyhole that the ball has to come there, that I am going to let it fly.
Wasn't in the keyhole, but it was a strike. Looked like a pretty good pitch too. A little above the knees, cut the plate in half. And the 3-1 to Trey Turner. Now full count. The 7th time he's been in a full count tonight. The payoff pitch with the bases loaded. And it's fouled away.
It's a fastball over the heart of the plate. Trey's upset that he fouled that ball off. That was a pitch he knew he could handle. And I'm sure a little bit in the back of your mind, you're thinking, he's not afraid to throw that breaking ball with 3-2. You're telling yourself, no, it's got to be a fastball with bases loaded. But Lynch has been able to show that he's willing to do that breaking ball.
We'll get another.
There it is. I mean, that's where, that just kind of plays in the back of your mind when you look at what he's done over the course of this game. You're looking in the dugout. You're talking amongst him like, hey, what's he throwing 3-2? It's not just fastball every time 3-2. He has been comfortable throwing an off-speed pitch.
This will be the 22nd pitch this inning for Lynch. Popped up right side, drifting. Pasquantino will make the catch.
Pasquantino does a good job getting to this ball and getting to the railing over there in time to set himself and then look back up and see the ball, because it's a high sky right now. This is that twilight right now where you lose the ball up in the sky. So when he looked down to look at the rail, he was able to find the ball again. It's a nice play.
So after an 8-pitch at bat, it results in a pop-up foul, and now Freddie Freeman trying to get something done here with 1 out and the bases loaded. And you think the percentages are good in favor of the Dodgers. Bases loaded, nobody out. Top part of the order up. Sometimes when the defense gets that first out, they feel a little bit of, you hate to say momentum, but you get a little better feeling.
You as a pitcher too. I mean, he's made a quality pitch with a breaking ball, and you're thinking, okay, I'm one pitch away to possibly getting out of this inning.
Freddie lets it go. They appeal down to third base umpire Todd Tickner. He says no, he didn't go. So a 2-1 count to Freeman. And Lynch out of the stretch delivers. 2-2. Slider. It seems to be something that is going to give hitters in the American League trouble for the future, because he's got a pretty good slider. These situations, Freddie's been money. Two ball, 2 strike count. And he strikes him out, elevating the fastball, and Freeman goes down on strikes. And now Lynch is an out away from getting out of a big-time jam.
He made some quality pitches with that slider against Freddie Freeman, and then he just climbs the ladder. You're a hitter, you're trying to protect like Freeman, you're going, okay, 2-strike approach, and you see that fastball and it's up near your eyes. It looks a little bit bigger coming in, and you're thinking, oh, I can handle that pitch. Really tough to get the barrel to that.
Now it's up to Will Smith. The Dodgers have not let 2 outs bother them. Will, a very good hitter with the bases loaded. Grand slam came a couple of seasons ago against San Diego. And he swings and he hits a high drive to left center field, but it'll be playable for Michael A. Taylor. And you want to talk about a Houdini for a young left-handed pitcher. Lynch works out of a bases loaded, no out jam. Check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. Got to cover Tony Gonsolin tonight.
He is coming in. He's pounding the zone. That's what we talk about, having the fastball command. He has had that. What does that do? It sets up his split finger change to get the swings and misses. He's also missing the sweet spot of the barrel of the bat, gets him off the end, off the handle, fishing outs.
And so the Dodgers had a chance to get him some runs. A golden opportunity squandered in the top of the 5th. Tony back to work. He'll face Vinny Pasquantino for the second time and starts him with a strike. But Daniel Lynch, he's pitched 5 innings in most of his outings so far. Manager, former catcher Mike Matheny really appreciated the effort there. Pasquantino drills this one into right field, but right there is Mookie Betts. 1 out in the Royals' 5th.
It's an important inning for Tony Gonsolin. You know, you thought you were going to have some runs put on the board. The Dodgers is your team. You got the bases loaded, nobody out. Don't score any runs, so you feel that momentum shift kind of going to the Royals. So now it's really key to be able to go out there and just put up another 0 to get your offense back in there.
Nick Pratto. Take ball 1. Pratto from Huntington Beach High School. Takes a strike and it's 1-1. He is in left field. And you'll see him a lot at first base. You may see him at first base by the end of this ball game, but a really good first baseman defensively. And the reason he's in left field is so that the Royals can find a way to get both Pratto and Pasquantino in the game at the same time. And they've got a better chance with Pratto in left than they do with Pasquantino. So Matheny is much more comfortable putting Pratto out there. And he goes down on strikes. 2 in a row set down here in the 5th inning by Gonsolin.
It's a great placement with this fastball. Him just climbing the ladder with the fastball. It was a strike. Gets a swing and miss, but it was also in the zone, top of the zone.
And now Tony to face Michael A. Taylor, the veteran outfielder. Grounded out to short first time up, and a ball outside. Now, he first came up to the big leagues with the Nationals. The report on him was he could pretty much get anything in the outfield, and he's proven that over his career. Really covers a lot of ground. Takes a breaking pitch for a strike. Offensively, not too bad this year. 273. Two and 1. Tony peeking in for a sign, has the one he wants. Taylor, foul ball, and it's 2-2. Tony's been machine-like tonight. Extremely businesslike. Got everything working. Really good dip on that splitter too. And the 2-2. That's in the air to center field, and Trace Thompson will run it down. 3 up and 3 down again. 15 up and 15 down in the ball game for Tony Gonsolin. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr. Order 1 hand-breaded chicken menu item in the Carl's Jr. app and get another for just $1. And by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. No score. Top of the 6th inning. Not a lot happening with the bats. And the Royals will turn to left-handed reliever Amir Garrett. His 39th appearance out of the Kansas City pen. Let's take a look at our All-State Mayhem moment Will Smith thought he had a chance here. Not in this park. Too big. Had another chance. Michael A. Taylor went back. Put that one away. And the Dodgers with another chance. Max Muncy looking to go oppo. Here's Nick Pratto. Back against the wall. Not enough carry tonight. Garrett delivering to Justin Turner. Ball 1.
We were showing earlier how potentially those balls were if at Dodger Stadium would have gone out, but we are not. We're here in Kansas City. That's, you got to make your adjustment. Got to understand it doesn't matter. You can say that so many times, right? There's so many times you can go to some ball. Oh, that would have been out here. It doesn't matter. This is where you're playing right now. Those balls are caught. Warning track. Put good swings on it.
Well, the one we saw from Muncy, StatCast tells us that would have been gone in 24 Major League parks.
It happens.
But the real story that's developing tonight, Tony Gonsolin. The Royals have sent 15 batters to the plate. He's retired them all. Dodgers need to get him some runs.
Dodgers really need to get that momentum back on their side from an offensive standpoint. They thought they were going to score. They should have scored some runs in that last inning. You get bases loaded and nobody out and come up empty. Gonsolin does his job, getting a 1-2-3 inning to give you another opportunity to go out there and score.
So Daniel Lynch, the starter tonight, the rookie, a season high, be a career high, 105 pitches in the game. 5 innings, allowed just 2 hits. And remember, it was his error that allowed Hanser Alberto to reach in the 5th inning to get that thing going. Dodgers had the bases loaded, nobody out. Trey Turner, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith all came up empty. And Pasquantino by the dugout. He'll have room. The ball came back on him. And 1 out for the Dodgers in the 6th. Chris Taylor 0 for 1. He walked his last time up in the 4th. You played a bunch of games here. What do you remember about this ballpark as a hitter?
Well, you remember it played differently when you were early in the season when it was cold. You know, we were talking about, we're already showing that it is a bigger ballpark. It's even bigger when it's not carrying as much as it is this time of this year. So you felt that. It was always just kind of nice. It just felt like it was just kind of nice, and you got the waterfalls in the background.
The sound of the running water relaxes you, right?
Yeah, it's like sometimes, you know, just get out there, maybe bring out a blanket on the grass, have a nice little picnic. Waterfall, the grass is green. It is a really pleasant environment.
CT takes high. 88 degrees at game time tonight. And this will be the coolest game time temperature of the 3 games we're expecting. It'll get up into the 90s tomorrow and the high 90s on Sunday for the day game. But hey, that's August in the Midwest. Big deal.
It is. You find a way to stay cool. You know, as a player, I always liked when it was warm like that. And then also you come to these places, you're like, okay, yeah, the ball will carry better.
3-1. Now full count, 3-2. Garrett connected in the low part of the zone. Mayor Garrett went to high school in the Las Vegas area, Henderson, Nevada, Henderson International School. Went to St. John's after that. He was a staple out of the Reds bullpen for a while. Came up in the Red system and was with them in the big leagues starting in 2017 all the way through last year. This is his first year with the Royals. And he gets Taylor as Perez holds on to the foul tip.
The first 35,000 fans in attendance on August 23rd will receive a Mystery World Series ring presented by Budweiser. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions or scan the QR code on your screen now.
So what's cool is you're going to get one of those, but you don't know which one. And I would imagine that it would turn into a kind of a mini stock market. People trying to trade,
yeah.
Right? They'll give you an 81 for an 88.
Right. I don't know. Hold on. Let me look at this before I just give it to you.
All right, 88 to be named later.
I don't know. And then you go look to your left. So what do you have? Can we do a three-way trade here? Maybe, you know.
Max hits the ball to center field. It'll be playable for Taylor. Comes in several steps. Dodgers retired in order. That's something that Tony Gonsolin's been doing all night so far. Retiring the side in order. Can he do it again in the 6th?
Booth. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers presented by Cadillac tonight.
Home half of the 6th, and Massey, the second baseman, takes a strike from Tony Gonsolin. 3 groundouts, 9 flyouts, 3 strikeouts for Tony. 13 of the 15 outs have been on 4 pitches or fewer, and he's working his way toward another as he's ahead 0-2 on Massey, whom he struck out in the 3rd. Massey awaits the next pitch, and Tony delivers. And it's a ground ball to the right side. Freeman with a stab to Tony for the out.
Nice play by Freddie Freeman. This ball was hit pretty well. He stays on it, goes to his right, knocks it down, gathers himself, recognizing how hard the ball was hit. Make sure he gets a nice underhand toss to Tony Gonsolin.
He's got the Gold Glove from 2018. The year that Kyle Isbell was drafted. 1 out, Isbell the batter. You get that Gold Glove, you know it, with the gold label. It's on your glove. Ball at 1 strike to Isbell. Isbell from Rancho Cucamonga. Played his college ball a little further east at UNLV. He was a 3-year starter there. And then had a great summer in the Cape League and really got noticed.
That's such a fun league. You hear that so many times. You know, it helps pitchers. Sometimes pitchers who maybe struggle in college facing those aluminum bats, and then all of a sudden they go there and they dominate with that wood bat and puts them on the radar for teams. And the same thing from an offensive side, because scouts really, professional teams really like seeing the wood bat league to see how a guy may be able to handle that wood bat. You know, maybe off the charts with the aluminum bat, and all of a sudden they could potentially struggle with that wood bat.
Even though in recent years the aluminum bats have been deadened somewhat, last 10 years or so. Breaking ball low. And it's 3-2 to Isbell. This may be the deepest count Tony's been in against anybody tonight. It's just the second 3-ball count he's had. And this one stroked down the line, and that one hooks foul. Gonsolin is going pitch by pitch at this point in the game. Payoff. And he's walked it. So 16 men in a row set down to start the ball game, and Isbell becomes the first Royal to reach. So there will not be a perfecto here tonight. But the Dodgers now have had 3 pitchers retire 16 in a row to start a game. Clayton Kershaw twice. Tony Gonsolin. Tyler Anderson had a deep one too into the 8th. Anderson along with Ryan Pepio on the bench. So it's Nicky Lopez, the shortstop, the number 9 hitter.
As a pitcher, you're frustrated, give up a free pass. You know this staff hates giving up walks. You're like, all right, gave it up. Pitching well, refocus, regroup. We also know that he has great movement and potentially get that ground ball, potentially double play, and get yourself out of this inning.
Tony has developed so well. The time he debuted in 2019 to now, he was walking guys at the beginning. And on Wednesday night, Orel and I were talking about the development of Ryan Pepio. It's very similar. He was comparing it to Tony Gonsolin in his start, and then learning how to cut down on the walks.
You talk to Tony Gonsolin and ask him what has been the difference for him and why he's been so effective, and he'll tell you it's strike one.
He's averaging more than an inning pitched more than he had through his first 3 seasons. 1-1 pitch. 2-1. Trying to go back door there, and back is Kyle Isbell. Isbell reached on a 7-pitch at bat. Tony hadn't gone nearly 7 pitches with anybody until that at bat. So far 13 pitches this inning, which is the most he's thrown in any inning tonight, which is sensational considering. And a throw to first, and tagged by Freeman, but Isbell got back. Think about what Gonsolin's done just since he's debuted. He started Game 6 of the World Series in 2020. Was an all-star this year. Another throw to first. He's done a lot of neat things already, and there's a lot more in store for him, it would seem.
And we see him throwing over there a couple of times. Talked about coming in this game. The Royals ranked 2nd in stolen bases in the AL.
There he goes, and a ground ball towards short. Turner's got it. On to first for the out. Lopez grounds out 6-3. Because Isbell was on the run, he was able to stay at second base.
Turner does a good job staying on this ball. He didn't turn his shoulders. He was shuffling over there just in case he puts this ball in play. And he's able to make a nice backhanded play there, stay with it.
Tony will face MJ Melendez, the leadoff man, who has flied to left field twice. A little bit up for ball 1. So Tony getting into that 3rd time around the order now. He really hasn't struggled the first 2 times around. Well, runner at second base, 2 men out, and the pitch from Tony. Lifted foul and out of play for a strike.
Here, Dave Roberts. As you're watching a pitcher go out there, you're looking at those numbers. You're looking at third time through the lineup. You're also looking at those stressful innings. Tony Gonsolin this has probably been his most stressful inning so far in this game. And you want to see how still effective his pitches are and how he gets out of this.
Pitch to Melendez. 2-1. Bobby Witt Jr. on deck with Melendez at the plate in a 2-ball 1-strike count. Tony checks second, comes home, and now falls behind. 3-1. Still a scoreless game in the bottom of the 6th inning. He gets some swinging there, and it's 3-2.
It's impressive. What's impressive is over the course of this at bat, he's missed with his off-speed pitches to get to that 3-1 count. As a hitter, you're like, all right, well, 3-1, he's going to come with me with the fastball. He's still trusting his off-speed pitches to get the strike.
And Jay Melendez waiting the payoff pitch. Fouls it down the left field side. So he got a fastball. Does he come back with that again? If you're a hitter, you're looking for something soft, or you're looking for that firm fastball.
Well, after you get that 3-1 off-speed pitch, you can't just assume, all right, now fastball. You get the 3-2. Right now you're going, I'm just protecting. I have to be prepared for anything.
Again, the 3-2 from Tony. He'll have to do it again.
He fouls off that was a really good off-speed pitch. He's on the inner half, stays alive. This is what we're saying now. It's really messing with your mind. Now you're just kind of going really defense mode as a hitter.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat to MJ Melendez. And he's walked him. Second walk of the inning. And now the Royals with runners at first and second. Mark Pryor is going to make a visit. All in all, things still going very, very well for Tony Gonsolin. In terms of pitch count, he's just allowed the 2 base runners in the ball game, both on walks. And now has to try to find a way to get out Bobby Witt Jr.
You know, it's just been a little off this inning. I mean, you need to say that when you have a couple of walks, but they also fouled off some tough pitches that possibly could have got him out of the inning or get some outs. So it's smart, go out there, give him a break. Also remind him, still looks good, still focus, make those quality pitch. And make that quality pitch on the very first one like he's been doing all game.
Bobby Witt Jr. 333 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this year. Dad Bobby Sr. pitched for 16 years in the big leagues. 2 on, 2 out, and in the air it goes. And backing up is Hanser Alberto. Plenty of room, and the base runners are stranded. Still a 0 up there for Tony Gonsolin. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Give you the score if there was one. Top of the 7th inning. Only 2 hits in the ball game, both belonging to the Dodgers. There's a Southern Californian on the hill, Josh Staumont from La Habra and out of Azusa Pacific University. 39th appearance out of the Royals pen. 41 strikeouts in 34 and a third innings worked, so significantly more strikeouts than innings pitched.
And that definitely does. There's something you know when you're looking at the scouting report. You're like, okay, he has some swing and miss stuff. You're looking at the pitches that he throws. You see that. But also at the same time, you're also looking internally as from an offensive side. You're going, listen, we had an opportunity, a big opportunity. Do we let that go? We got to find a way to put up some runs. We got a new pitcher. It's kind of a new game right here. Your pitcher, your starter is doing an unbelievable job putting up zeros and giving you a chance to put some runs up.
Gavin Lux will hit for Hanser Alberto. Now the Dodgers can take their lefties off the bench. The bullpen for Kansas City out of left-handers. It's all righties the rest of the way. Amir Garrett, the only lefty they have. Well, Stalmont's first pitch fouled back. 96 right out of the chute.
Yeah, he's had times where he's reached up to 100 miles an hour on that fastball. So you know he's got a live arm. He's going to come at you with that fastball.
Getting the sign from Salvi Perez. 0-1 to Lux. Ball in, 1 strike. So Gavin getting a chance off the bench. Presumably go into play second base. 1-1 from Stalmont. And that's a ground ball up the middle and a base hit. Third hit of the night for the Dodgers and a pinch hit single for Gavin Lux.
Really good job by Gavin Lux. See that 96-mile-an-hour fastball in the first one, and then a good breaking ball down in the zone that he lays off of, and he recognizes this one. He doesn't pull off of it. He stays on it. Goes the other way, finds the hole.
Trace Thompson with a double off the left field wall in the 5th, 1 for 2. He really set the table for the Dodgers in the 5th inning. They had the bases loaded, nobody out, and failed to score. Still has a lot of room down that left field corner the way they're defending him with Nick Pratto off the line. It was neat to see Golden State star Steph Curry recording Trace's at bat the other night at Dodger Stadium on his phone. Here's the pitch. And a snap throw, and Lux barely gets back. Pasquantino pointing at the dugout saying you should review it, but boy, it was Lux a long way off.
Think he gets his hand in there.
Carlos Torres, the first base umpire, obstructing that view slightly.
It's pretty amazing is Salvador Perez hits the home plate umpire in the mask when he goes to throw that ball. And he still makes an accurate throw.
He's always been known for his arm. We told you earlier, 2011, this month, Perez debuted for the Royals against Tampa Bay, picked off 2 men in that game. He can throw it. Long pause by Stalmont. Now the pitch. And this one's cracked into left. That's a base hit. Lux will stop at second. And the Dodgers have 2 on with nobody out.
Another great swing by Trace Thompson. You were talking about, maybe just talking about Steph Curry filming him. Gets him going, because when he was doing that the other day, he hits a double. And I don't know when Steph Curry really stayed on him after that double. It seemed like he was now watching the ball, but nonetheless, this is his second great swing, second ball he's hit hard in this game.
It's so important if you're the number 9 hitter hitting in front of Mookie Betts. If you're 2 for 3, and that's the second hit that Trace has had with nobody out in front of Mookie Betts. Betts 0 for 2 with a walk. Dodgers in search of some runs for Gonsolin, who has been spectacular tonight. And Mookie fouls this one away for strike 1.
for the Dodgers is their 4th at bat with a runner in scoring position. Really trying to capitalize it. For the month of August, they've done an excellent job with runners in scoring position as a team, hitting .330.
So the 8-9 guys have been setting the table for the Dodgers offensively. Gonsolin preparing for the bottom of the 7th. It's outside. Remember Mookie's average career coming into the game against the Royals. He's terrorized them in the past, hitting .352 against them, 2nd highest average among any active player. Luis Arraez of the Twins has the highest average against him. Plays in their division, .376. Runners lead 1st and 2nd, the 1-1. Now 2-1 to Betts. Runs have been at a premium in this ball game tonight. Stretching the 2-1. Breaking ball misses inside. Buckled Mookie's knees there for a moment.
Right now, as I'm a hitter, I'm looking 3-1. I'm looking for a fastball that I can drive.
And that's ball 4. 2nd time Mookie has walked. And it's the 2nd time in the ball game the Dodgers have had the bases loaded and nobody out. And again, if you're playing the laws of percentages here, they didn't score the last time this happened with the same exact guys coming up.
And for Trey Turner, he was so upset and frustrated the fact that he ended up popping that ball up his last at bat in foul territory. So as a competitor, as a player, when you know you get this chance once again in the game, you're thinking, okay, I need to come through for my team.
The Dodgers as a team so far tonight 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. Infield comes in even with the bases. And a breaking ball for a strike. Turner had a 3rd inning single, 1 for 3 tonight.
And that was Stallman's better pitches this inning. Best breaking ball so far this inning.
Now the 0-1 to Trey. Lets it go for a strike. Came back with a breaking ball again. Another curve.
And you see a guy who throws in the upper 90s. Your hitter, you're thinking, okay, he's going to have to throw me a fastball. You're not thinking breaking ball, especially when you notice that he was throwing his breaking ball for a ball.
Oh, 2 coming. Bases loaded. Nobody out. 1-2. Now Stallman was right man in the right time for the Royals on Wednesday. At a 1-2-3 7th inning, and he was able to become the pitcher of record, earned his 3rd win of the season. That was after back-to-back performances Tuesday night. 2nd game of a doubleheader. He pitched a scoreless 9th. And that one's outside. 98. Two count for Turner. Stallman's 2-2 offer to Trey Turner. And fouled back.
Good job by Trey Turner fouling that ball off, because that was a really good pitch right in the corner. It was a pitch, that borderline pitch that could have easily been called the strike. He lets that go.
Runners lead 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Lux at 3rd, Thompson at 2nd, Mookie Betts at 1st. And Trey hits it through the hole left side, a base hit. Luck scores. Here comes Thompson. He will score. And the Dodgers break the ice here in the 7th inning. It's 2-0. Trey Turner with his career high extending 82nd and 83rd runs batted in.
Well, we were talking about it. He was so frustrated in his at-bat before where he had this opportunity and wasn't able to come through. As a competitor and as great as a player as Trey Turner, he's like, you're giving me a second opportunity to come through. He was going to make sure he does so, picking up Tony Gonsolin, who's been throwing a great game so far, picking up his team. And he not over. Got to continue passing the baton.
Freddie Freeman with nobody out and 2 on. Now getting to face a right-hander for the first time tonight. Staumont set, and the pitch to Freeman. Ball 1. So the Dodgers jump on the board first. When they do score first, 54 wins, 10 losses. Two runs on 5 hits for the Dodgers and counting. Staumont will pour this one in, and Freddie goes to the left center field gap. Here comes Mookie in to score. Turner will be held at third, and into second with a run scoring double is Freddie Freeman. 3-0 Dodgers.
Freddie Freeman once again with just an amazing approach. Just staying on the ball, going the other way. He wears out that left center gap. That's what he's thinking. That's what he's trying to accomplish because he knows his bat will stay through the zone longer.
So Staumont finished for the night, and Mike Matheny going back to the bullpen. Top of the 7th, nobody out. Luke Weaver coming in, and the Dodgers with a 3-0 lead. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Spicy chicken strips are back at Jack in the Box for a limited time, starting at $5.49. Well, with Nomar Garciaparra and Kirsten Watson, Tim Never with you. Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri. Former Diamondback, and prior to that with the St. Louis Cardinals, Luke Weaver was with the Diamondbacks this season. This will be his 16th appearance, and the right-hander coming out of the bullpen. A 28-year-old from DeLand, Florida, out of Florida State University in Tallahassee.
Yeah, he comes at you with a fastball, changeup, cutter, and a curveball, but over 60% of the time he's going to be throwing that four-seam fastball.
Infield in, runners second and third, nobody out. Will Smith, the batter, and he fouls one off.
Will Smith was ready for it, puts a good swing on it, and just fouls it off.
Staumont is on the hook right now. A +4, no outs, but 4 hitters, and has allowed the 3 earned runs. Strike on the corner. Runners in scoring position through the first 6 innings. The Dodgers 0 for 3 here in the 7th. They're 2 for 2, and we're looking for a better pitch to make it 3 for 3. In the dirt, 1 and 2. So a little adjustment after the day off. Now the Dodgers bats are showing up here in the 7th inning. And again, we talked about it prior to the game. The unfamiliarity with the ball club, and still a major league club rather. I mean, they're 13 out in the American League Central, well under 500, 47 and 66. And that one is off Weaver. Nobody will be able to advance, and Will is out. A 1-3 put out.
Head Head to Dodger Stadium on August 20th for Walker Buehler Jersey Night, presented by Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions or scan the QR code on your screen now.
So want to be there for that one. So Justin Turner. He's 0 for 3, hasn't been on base yet. He got a 20 game on base streak. See if he can make it 21 here with 2 on. 2 men in scoring position and just 1 out. Gets away. And Trey Turner will score standing up. 4-0 Dodgers. Freeman advancing to third on the wild pitch.
Well, that's when being on the knee right there, maybe can't move quite as well when you're on the knee or get your body in that position. It bounces off the chest and goes to his left. Trey Turner, he was ready for that. He got an incredible jump off third base.
And a 1-0 count to JT. Infield still in with Freeman at third. Swing and a miss. Well, we've talked about it a lot. Well, you and I have talked about it in the past too, where the catcher does get in that position. They want to maybe catch the ball on the way up, but you're trading mobility to go side to side for that. Maybe you can steal a strike at the bottom of the strike zone by catching it that way, but you just don't have that same mobility. JT to right field. Freddie tagging. Ball is caught by Isbell. And here comes Freeman to the plate. It's a sacrifice fly for Justin Turner, and the Dodgers have added on. It is 5-0 in the 7th.
Just a great at bat by Justin Turner. It's exactly what he was looking to do. He was just looking, let me get a ball I can handle. I don't have to take a big swing on it. A ball I know I can drive, get it in the air. Got an RBI over there sitting there at third base, and he capitalizes on it.
There's Chris Taylor. I know you talk about a formula. 5 runs.
Yeah.
And how many hits you need?
You're saying 10 and 5. You want 10 hits, 5 runs. But the 5 runs are more important. So if you don't get to that 10 hits, that's fine. But you get that 5 runs, that's nice.
We've got 6 right now.
Yeah. So be nice to get to 10. Get the knocks throughout the lineup.
The Dodgers done well scoring 4 or more runs this year. They score 4+. They're 47-12.
Dave Roberts talks about team offense, what he's seen from this ball club, and it really is about moving guys over, hitting the sacrifice fly like Justin Turner, up and down the lineup. Guys have all just bought in about that. It's not about, okay, if I get a pitch and just try to pad my stats, or I'm just trying to hit a home run every single time. You see a lot of guys through the lineup making adjustments and saying, okay, infield back, maybe it's just a ground ball up the middle. There's a man on third base, less than 2 outs.
Van Scoyoc, the hitting coach, next to Dave Roberts. Two and 1 to Chris. So here in the 7th, 4 of the Dodgers' 6 hit. So in innings 1 through 6, they had 2. Twice as many in just this inning, the first 2/3 of an inning. A 2-1. 2-2. Weaver was acquired at the trading deadline. Exchange for infielder Emmanuel Rivera. 12 games with the Diamondbacks. He had an ERA of 7.71. Weaver, new surroundings here in Kansas City. 2-2 to Chris Taylor. So for 2 with a walk, drew a 2-out walk in the 4th. Dodgers have won 10 straight. And looking to do something they haven't done since the 2017 season. That's win 11 in a row. This one down the right field line, and that ball will slice foul.
As a hitter, you hit that ball and it feels pretty good. You're like, oh, I squared that ball up. And as you're running, you're kind of seeing the trajectory as it's just kind of slowly slicing and going foul. And you're like, oh.
Straighten it out.
That's what you're telling yourself.
Put an iron on it.
You're like, man, why couldn't that just stay fair?
Well, this thing called physics. Usually the main reason.
Definitely kind of factors in.
2-2 now to Chris Taylor. Low target set by Perez. And strike 3, 3rd time that Taylor has gone out on strikes, but the Dodgers hang a 5 spot in the top of the 7th. Stretch time in Kansas City. Tony Gonsolin going back to work. Gonsolin's given us a few. How about some swings and misses, Nomar?
Oh, that split finger changeup has been so effective. He's getting the swings and miss, and then he'll climb a ladder with a fastball just to keep you honest to recognize it. But here are the swings and misses with the different pitches. And not surprising, it's been the splitter that's having 7 of those so far in this game.
First ball swinging Perez, and a ground ball to Gavin Lux in the shift. A little high throw, but right there is Freddie to take care of things. So 1 pitch and 1 out in the bottom half of the 7th inning. So Tony's gone 6 1/3, allowing just 2 base runners. And this will be Vinny Pasquantino, who's 0 for 2, facing Tony here in the 7th for Kansas City.
Talked about in that 5th inning when the Dodgers had bases loaded, nobody out, and they didn't get a run, and how important it was for Tony Gonsolin maybe have a quick inning, not allow a run. And he did exactly that to get that offense back for the Dodgers, try to score some runs. Well, here's another inning, the same thing. You finally get some runs on the board. You want that shutdown inning. Go out there, try to put a 0 up, be efficient.
And there it goes. First hit against Gonsolin. So Tony was perfect into the 6th. He had retired 16 straight to start the game, walked 2 in the 6th. And after getting Perez on 1 pitch, Pasquantino gets the early count single to put the first hit on the board for Kansas City in the game.
That off-speed pitch didn't quite have the same depth and the same bite as his pitches have been all game long.
So he goes back to the drawing board here against Nick Pratto and gets him to swing and miss. He's gotten him to do that earlier. His last at bat, he struck him out. So Tony threw 70 pitches tonight before he allowed his first hit. That's not too good. That's 10 good. That's really good.
Well, and you're thinking, okay, threw 70 pitches before his first hit. Like, what did that take him into? The 5th inning, 6th inning? We're like, no, we're in the 7th inning. That's how efficient he's been. It's been incredible.
One ball and 1 strike to Pratto. And it's now 1-2. So Mark Prior on the phone. He's not taking a message for anybody either. He's delivering one, getting the bullpen activated. A little bit of movement out there. Nobody up throwing yet, but just some bodies moving around, getting the bullpen ready just in case. Pop back foul and into the 3rd base seats. There's always a time of the game where pitchers get up to the bullpen and stretch anyway. We were past that. And now it does look like Left-hander's going to get up and start to throw. It'll be David Price. 1-2, line to right. Here comes Mookie to make the chest-high catch. 2 gone for the Royals in the bottom of the 7th inning. Prado's 0 for 3. Michael A. Taylor 0 for 2, flying to center in the 5th, and back in the 2nd inning he grounded out to Trey Turner, his former teammate with the Nationals. You can say that about a lot of guys playing in different uniforms now. His former teammate with the Nationals. They've spread players all over the league in the last 2 years. And a 1-0. This one drilled to center field. Thompson on the run. He won't get it. It's off the wall. Pasquantino rounding third. And the throw will be late. And the Royals get on the board in the bottom of the 7th on a 2-out run scoring double by Michael A. Taylor. 5-1.
Well, Taylor puts a great swing on it. They wanted this fastball on the outer half. It just tailed over the heart of the plate. He stays on it. He drills this ball to center field. For a second, I thought maybe Trace Thompson had a beat on it, but it was just hit so hard. Able to score him all the way from first base. Right now, this is Tony Gonsolin really now just has to buckle down, focus, like, okay, I've given up 1 run. Let me just stop it right there.
Strike 1 to Massey. And Tony had a long break. Think about it. Top of the 7th inning, the Dodgers hit for 21 minutes and have the inning break. So he didn't throw a pitch for nearly half an hour, almost 25 pitches. That has given up his first 2 hits of the game in the bottom of the 7th. Taylor in scoring position. And the 0-1 to Massey. 1 ball, 1 strike. I mean, a pitcher is going to get a break anyway. That's why when they go to simulated games, they call them up downs or ups, where they'll try to simulate a reasonable number of minutes that the pitcher would be down while his team's hitting and then send him back out. So this stuff is not unfamiliar to pitchers.
You know, we've heard from pitchers. I know I've heard from Clayton Kershaw at times when he's talking about it. He goes, sometimes it's not the amount of pitches. Sometimes it's the amount of times I got up and down that it really feels. So that's why they simulate that as much as they can.
One-two coming to Massey. 2 down. Taylor the runner at second base. The pitch. 2-2. And the 2-2 chop foul. Speaking of pitchers and simulated games, not a simulated game, but a rehab game tonight. Blake Treinen pitched in a game for the first time in a long time tonight with Oklahoma City. Went 1 inning, had a 1-2-3 inning on 9 pitches. So that's good news.
That is great news, and bigger news will be when they ask him the question tomorrow, how do you feel today?
I hope he says great.
Great.
Great. Let me go again.
Yes.
2-2. Fastball high. So Tony, he can strike him out here, may have thrown his last pitch of the ball game. David Price continuing to warm in the bullpen for the Dodgers. So the 3-2 from Gonsolin to Michael Massey. He missed, and that's ball 4. And he's thrown his last pitch regardless. Dave Roberts coming out to get him. Third walk issued tonight by Gonsolin, but what a night. Just allowed 2 hits in the 7th inning. 1 run. He retired 16 straight. He was perfect through 5 1/3 tonight. Had a no-hitter into the 7th. 1 out in the 7th. And just a marvelous start for Tony Gonsolin tonight. Six 2/3 innings, and in 5 of his innings tonight, he threw 11 pitches or fewer, including a 7-pitch second inning. Just 2 hits, 1 earned run, 85 pitches. The book remains open on him. It'll be up to David Price to close it, as Tony Gonsolin is in line for his 14th victory right now.
And it's fair for us to wonder, like, him sitting so long in that last inning, over 25 minutes, nearly a half hour. Yeah, as his offense is scoring some runs for him, maybe throwing off his rhythm a little bit. Nonetheless, it's still a great performance here. And now it's up for David Price to pick up his teammate after that great performance and make sure the scoring and the damage stops right here.
Price has been very good in recent days. Got his first win of the season Wednesday night against the Twins. And he's facing a pinch hitter, Nate Eaton. So Mike Matheny going with the right-hander off the bench. He cues one foul down the first base side right near the rain tarp. So July 14th was a big day for Nate Eaton. He hit a home run in his major league debut. Took him to his 4th at bat, but hey, a lot of guys don't do it till much later. Most of them don't. Although we saw James Outman on the road trip do it in his very first major league at bat.
Didn't waste any time.
0-1. And it's now 0-2. Price has recorded at least 1 strikeout in 23 of his 30 outings. Looking to do it again here, and he's got Eaton on the ropes. Backed him up. Pretty good pitch on the borderline.
That was a really good pitch. It was just off. Didn't get the call. Was close. But also now it really puts it in the hitter's head. Thinking about that fastball. Is he going to come back in there? Is he going to try to do that back foot breaking ball? Or now he can set him up to go away.
The ground ball to third. Backhanded by JT. Long throw, and on the hop, Freddie's got it. Terrific play, both corners. Justin Turner, superb backhand play. And Freddie with the finish. Dodgers leading Kansas City. We head to the 8th inning. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth with Nomar Garciaparra. I'm Tim Neverett. What a night for Tony Gonsolin. He might have not have walked off the mound the way that he wanted to tonight, but still, he was absolutely sensational.
Hey, he was great. He was commanding the strike zone. He was getting them off balance. He was getting weak contact as well. Extremely efficient. What I really like is the way the team picked him up in that last inning as he did come out of there. David Price coming in, pounding the zone, and then the defense picking up Tony Gonsolin as well. Great play by Turner and Freddie Freeman.
Max Muncy facing Luke Weaver with a 1-0 count. He walked tonight. Flied out to the wall in left field in the 4th inning, and then flied to center in the 6th. Max gets ahead of him now, 2-1. Weaver stretching, and now the 2-1 delivery. 3-1 to Max. And you're right about them picking him up because they had the bases loaded in the 5th. Nobody out, couldn't score. Then they loaded him up in the 7th with nobody out. You figured, okay, law of averages tells you they're going to get a run, and they got 5. And there's another walk, second one issued to Muncy tonight, and the leadoff man is aboard in the 8th inning. Well, not only did they get hits in the 7th, they were hard hits. Look at the exit velocities.
Yeah, well, Gavin Lux definitely got them going. He was a pinch hit. Leadoff runner on board, goes the other way, hits it through the infield. Then Trace Thompson, that was his second one. He hit the ball hard in his first hit, too. And everybody kind of followed right after that, putting on great swings.
Well, Lux up 1 for 1. 1 on, nobody out, and Weaver sends one a little high. Torres tells him, hey, get it lower. Gavin Lux, though, 296. And he's still around in terms of batting average as far as the leaders are concerned. He has moved back into the top 10 currently. Eaton remains in the game for Kyle Isbell. He's in right field. Takes that one away. Yeah, Lux had just fallen out of the top 10. Chris Martin is now up. So Martin ready to go. He'll come on in the bottom of the 8th. But the guy right in front of Machado to start the day hitting wise, number 10, was Manny Machado of the Padres. 294. Is right around where he is. Josh Bell also with the Padres. Austin Riley and Nico Horner of the Cubs are all right around that 295 to 299 range. So they're all anywhere from 7 to 10 in the top 10 in hitting in the National League. Two inside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks issued by Weaver to start the Dodger half of the 8th inning. And the Kansas City pen getting a little busy. Yoel Payamps is up. And he's going to be coming in. That's going to be the hook right here. Mike Matheny coming out to get Luke Weaver after back-to-back walks. Dodgers with 2 on and nobody out. And Trace Thompson due up next when we come back. Dodgers up 5-1. Well, right-hander Yoel Payamps out of Santiago in the Dominican Republic takes over for Weaver. 28th appearance. And Payamps had pitched for the Diamondbacks. He'd also been with the Blue Jays before joining the Royals last year. He will face Trace Thompson and then Mookie Betts. So this has been the productive part of the order in terms of setting the table for the Dodgers. The 8-9 spot. And Lux has been aboard both times he's come to the plate tonight. And now Thompson 2 for 3, single double, both hard hit baseballs. 65 now for Trace. There's on first and second, nobody out. Pitch hit down to third, foul. Check the bat.
It's one of those where you're checking, you're hoping that it's not broken because you already have 2 hits with that bat. Not only just 2 hits, 2 hard hits. It's feeling pretty good in your hands right now. You're feeling good at the plate. You want to have another great quality at bat right here.
One and one. Well, you spend time preparing the bat, do a lot of work on the bat. The last thing you want to do is break one, especially one that's got some hits in it. And this one's got a hit in it deep to center field. Back is Taylor. He looks up. It's gone. A home run. Trace Thompson. A 3-run shot, and the Dodgers lead it 8-1. Fifth home run of the year.
That is why you're hoping. Your bat was not broken. It's feeling pretty good in your hands today. He was taking some great swings. That ball was kind of tailing away from him. He stayed on the ball, takes it to center field. We were showing earlier how deep the fences are, how big this outfield is, and he said it doesn't matter because the way I'm swinging it, driving it out.
Mookie Betts grounds it to the left side. Massey, the second baseman, over there to make the play. And that's the first out of the Dodger 8th. So 2 of those 3 runs charged to Weaver. His book is closed. And now the 31st career home run for Trace Thompson is he hits a 3-pointer from way downtown. 431 feet. That's a bomb. Trey Turner 2 for 4 tonight. Well, anytime you're getting a high five from Kirsch, usually something good happened. How did that sound to you off the bat? Didn't it just have that sound?
All of the hits he's had that sound. I mean, he hit that double off the wall to left, and then he gets the single. All of them had that sound. And he knew it. As a hitter, you know, you recognize the sound, you recognize the feel when it comes off your bat. There'll be times, you know, you're hitting in the cage before a game, right? And I remember one time in the cage, our team's hitting there, hitting, and as I'm walking out of the cage, our manager's kind of heading, walking toward the cage, and he's like, "Nomi, how'd it go in there?" And I said, "Didn't you hear it?" You know?
It sounded great.
It sounded great. Just you can hear it, Skip. We're ready.
Well, what you want to do? You should have recorded it, and the next day you could have played it.
Yeah, just played that. Just put that in there.
Knock on his office door. Hey, I'm just checking in. Here's batting practice. You want to hear it? Didn't you hear it? Foul tip, and he stays alive. That was a good answer, though.
I mean, it was loud in there. The team was ready, and we did hit well that day.
One out, top of the 8th, and guess how many runs on the board for the Dodgers again? 8 more. That seems to be their special number in recent days. They put 8 up on Wednesday against the Twins, winning 8-5. Putting 8+. You put 8+ up there every night, you're going to win a lot of games. The high bouncer to third, played by Witt. Long throw dug out by Pasquantino. Good play by the first baseman. 2 men out. The Royals, during this homestand, they're 6-2 on the current homestand. They've been scoring a lot of late runs. They've had some late lightning. But tonight it's the Dodgers with the late lightning. 5 in the 7th and 3 here in the 8th. Freeman with a swing and a miss. Going back to 2 of the 3 games against San Diego on the 5th and the 6th, both 8-run totals, 8-1 and 8-3. Blanked them on Sunday night, 4-0. And 10 runs against Minnesota on Tuesday. A 10-3 win, 8-5 on Wednesday. One to Freddie. And it's a high fly ball to center, playable for Taylor. And Michael A. Taylor will make the catch. And the Dodgers 3 more. Trace Thompson with a blast to dead center. And it's 8-1 Dodgers.
Tony Gonsolin was willing and dealing, but we got the offense. Somebody called it, Adrian, called this shot with Trace Thompson.
D-Train called the 3-pointer with Trace, and Trace from downtown.
Now we got to hear it, folks. Back to you.
Good call, D-Train. You know from being in there a lot. I'm in there with you occasionally. You guys love it when you get it right because you don't know before the game.
No. Well, if we were that good at predicting everything, you think we'd be doing this? There'd be some numbers we'd be picking.
Give me some lottery numbers.
Exactly right.
Reyes Maranta will take over. So Chris Martin, who was upside down, and Maranta now with a 7-run lead here in the bottom of the 8th will take over. Yeah, if you want to write some numbers down for me, maybe you should ask D-Train.
Yeah, they're sure people are probably tweeting at him saying, "Hey, so what are the numbers today?"
Well, tapper right back to him from the shortstop Nicky Lopez, and that's an easy out. 1 gone in the Kansas City 8th. One away for Reyes. MJ Melendez 0 for 2 with a walk in the leadoff spot, the designated hitter. Don't forget, tomorrow's game is an hour earlier than tonight's. The Dodgers have been appointment viewing this year, especially lately, as they are on the cusp of doing something they haven't done since 2017, and something rare. They've won 10 in a row, looking for 11. Padres look like they're on their way to beating Washington 10-3, bottom of the 9th. So a win would keep them 16 games up. A little bit of a cushion. I'd say that's a lot of a cushion. Tyler Anderson describing the flight of Trace Thompson's home run. That thing just had tons of backspin and kept rising. Three hits tonight for Trey. Single, double, home run. And when you look with Thompson's contribution out of the 9 spot tonight, the Dodgers 8-9 hitters. In the 8th spot, Hanser Alberto and Gavin Lux. 4 hits, 3 runs batted in, and 4 runs scored out of the 8-9 spots.
Between the two, they've been on 6 times.
Maranta with a 3-2 pitch to Melendez, and he walked him. One on and one out, and Bobby Witt Jr. will be the next hitter. It's easier said than done, but you got a 7-run lead in the 8th, and all you want to do is throw strikes.
Yeah, it's one thing the Dodgers bullpen has done an excellent job is they come in, pound in the zone. And when you give up those free passes, they are so frustrated and upset, especially when you have a lead like that.
The bullpen has, how many zeros have they hung inning by inning in the last month? Oh, 1 pitch to Witt. Now it's 0-2.
We were talking about before the game, the streak that the Dodgers are on. When you look at over their last 37 games, you know how well they've played, 10 straight. Talk about the runs they're producing in those, averaging over the last 10, averaging 7 runs a game. But the pitching staff has been incredible as well, from the starters to the relievers, everybody doing their job.
This one is lifted to left field. Chris Taylor right there. 2 men out for Kansas City. Well, after the Dodgers' next at bat, they get 3 outs as long as they've got the lead. Here's the company they're going to be in. Now, granted, it would be their 11th, but the streak began on the last day of July. All right. So let's erase that and say to start a month. The Dodgers will have won 10 games, and they will have matched a franchise record. They'd be the first team in the Los Angeles era to win 10 straight to begin any month. The other 2 teams to do it, the 55 Brooklyn Dodgers, they won 10 at the beginning of the season. They won their first 10 games. And in 1924, the Brooklyn Robins won 10 games in a row to begin the month of September. And fast forward to the 2022 Dodgers. The only other team with 9 wins to begin a month were the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1940 to start the season. In the month of April, they won 9 straight. In this year's team, about to join the leaders. Boy, Perez got into this one. And it is gone. Salvador Perez with a 2-run homer. And it's 8-3.
They wanted this fastball on the outer half. It tails right over the middle of the play. The power of Perez does not miss it. He knows his ballpark well. He knows when he gets it. He knew he drove that out of the ballpark. Talk about those free passes. That's when Morante's really upset with himself, going, how did I give up that walk as well that comes back to get me in this inning?
Pasquantino takes a strike. 395 feet on the 17th home run by Salvador Perez. Perez, by the way, the only player on this roster who was with the Royals the last time they played the Dodgers in 2017 at Dodger Stadium. One and one to Pasquantino. Base is clear. 2 men out. Really got to put some muscle into it to get it out of this ballpark, don't you?
Yes, you do. We were showing earlier the size of the outfield.
The ground ball to the right side, and that's through Justin Turner and into right center. JT over there in the shift. I'm not sure what happened, if the ball played him or not.
That's one JT would say, yeah, I have to have that. I was wondering if that's kind of right in between when you're going from the grass to, I mean, from the dirt to the grass in between. But no, he was on the edge, but the glove was kind of in there in front of that grass. So that's when he just, unfortunately, just didn't get the glove down long enough. You don't see that too often happening to JT.
Nick Pratto takes low ball 1. Started him off with a 4-seam fastball on 95 miles an hour. 0 for 3 tonight for Pratto. Oh and 2. Reyes Maranta, the former Giant. Looking for that last strike and that last out here in the 8th. One and 2. Maranta trying to finish things. Smith, Turner, and Taylor due up for the Dodgers in the 9th. And he got him. Well, Maranta strikes him out, but he gives up a 2-run home run to Salvador Perez. And we go to the 9th. Dodgers 8-3. Tomorrow, an hour earlier, right here at Sportsnet LA. That's Sunday morning, an 11 o'clock game against the Royals on getaway day. Then off to Milwaukee for 4. First meeting with the Brewers this season. That is what is coming up here in August. Well, Will Smith will get things going here for the Dodgers. He's facing Yoel Payamps, and the pitch is in for the strike. So here's the deal on Tony Gonsolin tonight. Okay, he had a perfecto going for a little while, retired the first 16 men, got into the 6th inning, went 5 1/3 perfect, did not give up a hit until there was 1 out in the 7th, so 6 1/3. The Dodgers this year have had 4 different pitchers not only have 1 no-hit bid, but multiple no-hit bids through 5 innings or more. Tony Gonsolin's done it twice. Tyler Anderson twice. Clayton Kershaw twice. Perfect through 7. Those 2 times. And Mitch White did it twice. Remember?
Yes, that's right.
So here's the other one. So the Dodgers are the only major league team now in the last 4 decades to have 4 different starters with multiple no-hit bids of 5 or more innings in the same season. Lots to think about.
How about the amount of wins between those 2 guys right there?
I know. You know, Gonsolin's in line for his 14th. That was a shot foul. And TA's got 13 of them. 27. Think about this. If you took those 27 wins away, the Dodgers are still over 500 as a team. Let's not take them away, though.
No. Let's keep them there. They just want to keep adding to them. They want to stay right now where they are. Just continue. We talked about coming into this series. They're focused, playing their game, clean baseball. Passing the baton offensively, pitchers pounding the zone, making quality pitches. They're doing everything right now.
3-2 to Will. That's grounded to the left side and a base hit. Smith the leadoff single.
Ball was breaking on the outer half. Will Smith does a good job just kind of staying on it. He was out in front a little bit on that, but his front shoulder didn't fly open where he pulls off of it. It still stays in there long enough for him to get the barrel to that and get that base hit.
Turner takes ball one. Well, tomorrow will be a special day here at the ballpark. Every day is a special day, but some have more meaning, and tomorrow's one of those days. Kansas City Royals each year partner up with the Negro Leagues Museum, which is here in Kansas City. Bob Kendrick, the president of the Negro Leagues Museum, has done such a wonderful job in promoting it. And a ground ball left side. That's backhanded by Perez. Throws on to second for one. On to first. Oh, he got him. And that's a double play. Six, 4-3 the hard way.
I mean, ranging to his right and then throwing that ball in the dirt. What a turn by Massey at second base. When Lopez gets this ball and he fires it over there. Yeah, he got rid of it quickly. But Massey to be able to pick it out of the dirt and then still make a strong throw to first base. He turned that well.
Two down, and here's Chris Taylor.
A couple of rookies getting it done.
It was low. So tomorrow, these two teams will be wearing throwback uniforms. The Dodgers will be wearing 1955 Brooklyn Dodger uniforms. And Kansas City will wear the 1945 Kansas City Monarchs uniforms. Of course, it's a special year for Kansas City baseball because Buck O'Neil was inducted into the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown last month, just a few weeks ago. And he was so instrumental in helping out Bob Kendrick with the Negro Leagues Museum. There's a pop-up right side, Massey under it. And that'll do it. 3 outs to get as we head to the bottom of the ninth, and the Dodgers searching for their 11th straight win. Phil Bickford takes over here in the bottom of the ninth inning, trying to get the last 3 outs of the ball game. 43rd appearance for Phil. He's 1-1. ERA of 5.35. Getting down to the bottom part of the Royals order. Michael A. Taylor due to lead off. So Bickford can wrap this one up. Tony Gonsolin, the pitcher of record, to the good. And Josh Staumont is on the hook. He was responsible for all 5 runs in the 7th inning.
Well, the Dodgers did an excellent job in that 7th inning. You know, after in the 5th when they had bases loaded, nobody out, and didn't get a run, they do it once again in that 7th and made sure they were going to capitalize and end up scoring those 5. Great job just passing the baton, moving guys over, getting the job done.
Taylor had an RBI double in the 7th. And now Bickford fires one home. Strike one. Just a couple of other notes on Tony Gonsolin's performance tonight. 17 of his first 21 outs were on 4 pitches or fewer. That's efficient. 85 pitches total, and that's considering he had 23 pitches in the 6th, 17 in the 7th. So most of his pitches came in the last 2 innings. Was working on a no-no for a little while. Only 3 no-hitters have been ever thrown in this ballpark. Nolan Ryan had the first one in 1973 when he was with the Angels. The other 2, Jim Colburn in 1977 for the Royals, and then Brett Saberhagen in 1991. And 2 to Michael A. Taylor. Everybody's okay.
Yeah, plate umpires taking a beating back there.
Mike Estabrook wearing the skull cap under the mask. Major League Baseball has put in exceptional concussion protocols for umpires and catchers who get it off the mask, and Bickford strikes out Taylor looking, 1 down. So 5 strikeouts for the Dodgers. If they get 5 more, that'll be a chore. Everybody will get a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow at Jack in the Box with a purchase of a large drink, valid only at LA area restaurants. That's only with 5 more, but there's only 2 outs left.
Yeah, but if you can drop a 3rd strike, you know, and they get on base and it's a K, and then you do that a couple of times. Yeah, and then just
mathematically it's possible, but
for sure,
but unlikely.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping for a Jumbo Jack there. Don't kill my dreams right now. You know, still a little hope.
You know, they've got the hand-breaded chicken now too.
I don't know if that's part of the deal with my large soda.
That isn't.
Oh, see, quit teasing me with that.
Michael Massey with a cut and a miss, and it's 0-2. So the Dodger infield will shift. JT goes over to the right side. Trey Turner handles the left side. 1 out in the bottom of the 9th. Game 1 of this 3-game set. Michael Massey waiting. For deals high and away. By the way, you ever been to the Negro Leagues Museum here in Kansas City?
I have not.
It is a wonderful
That's what I hear.
place. One-two pitch. This is hit in the air to left field, and Dave going back after it. Taylor still going back, and it's off the wall. And around first and into second is Massey with a 1-out double.
Massey to put some really good swing on this one. I mean, this ball, you know, was over the middle of the plate, but he stays on it, showing off the power the opposite way. Bickford, got to go out there, just continue pounding the zone. Can't give any free passes. Can't also just go, okay, I'm just going to throw it down the middle, just the heart of the plate. You're like, okay, still throw strikes, make them quality strikes.
Nate Eaton, a swing and a miss. Yeah, you learn a lot about the history of baseball and, of course, the Negro Leagues, but the overall history of baseball when you go to the museum here in town. It's great. Highly recommend it. And John Shostakofsky, who is with the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, is here. He has brought the Hall of Fame plaque of Buck O'Neil to be displayed this weekend. So the teams will get a look at it. And there goes Massey out on strikes, and the Royals down to their final strike, or their final out. 1 out to get for Bickford. Last hope for the Royals tonight is Nicky Lopez. Runner at second, 2 men out. Dodgers a 5-run lead. Looking for win number 78. Padres did hold on and beat Washington 10-5 tonight. So a win here for the Dodgers would keep them 16 games in front of the Friars. Slap foul. And now it's 0-2, and the Royals down to their final strike. It's a fireworks night here. Anybody tell you?
That's what I heard. I heard it's fireworks, and I hear they.
You'll be hearing them shortly.
I hear they're pretty quick too.
Yeah.
It's like.
Bickford set now in the pitch. A ground ball to the middle. Trey's got it, and that's the ball game. The Dodgers have won 11 in a row. Tony Gonsolin wins his 14th with a terrific performance tonight. The Los Angeles record 13 in a row. The overall franchise record 1924 Dodgers won 15 straight. The Dodgers over their last 38 games are 33-5. Trace Thompson a 3-run home run tonight, 3 hits. What a night for the Dodger outfielder.
Yeah, it was really about Tony Gonsolin. I think the way he was pitching, he really gave this offense an opportunity to find that chance to score some runs. When they squandered one in the 5th inning, they created another one in the 7th, and then really took advantage of that. And then up and down the lineup, they were able to score some runs. But really, the bottom part of that lineup came through today. The 8 and 9 hitter spots, getting on base 6 times amongst those 2 spots. Great job.
So the Catman gets it done. Win number 14 of the Dodgers take care of the Royals in game 1. For Nomar Garciaparra and Kirsten Watson, I'm Tim Neverett. Hope you enjoyed the ball game. Now stay tuned for Access Sportsnet Dodgers.